On this episode of System Integrators Weekly, these three companies have some awesome PCs, but there's a lot more to the story. All that and more on this episode of System Integrators Weekly. Let's go, nerds! Hello everyone, I'm Brea Thorne. Welcome to System Integrators Weekly, where we know it's been a heck of a week. And I do want to make it really clear for those who didn't see my video from yesterday or see my tweet or watch my 4-hour stream talking about this, but I am no longer an ambassador for Artesian Builds. Just wanted to get that right out of the way and make sure you knew that. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at some companies because we sort of need some wholesomeness. We need a refresher. We need something that's going to sort of cleanse the last week of madness of everything that was going on. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, because that's not really what this show is for. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, watch my admittedly boring video from yesterday and check out my Twitter thread to really get a concise view of how I feel about the topics at hand. I will link that in the description below. So yeah, please go check that out so you make sure that you know where I stand instead of going back to videos from 7 months ago and being like, oh, he must still feel this way. People change because things happen. So what we're doing, because we need that palate cleanser, we need to sort of get past this last week, is we're going to be looking at 3 companies that I feel have some, of course, awesome PCs that you can get. So you can get past the whole I can't get a GPU thing, which is really old at this point, but still kind of going on. Not as bad, still pretty bad. Anyway, we're going to look at 3 system integrators here who have thriving communities, who sort of embody the thing that people are clearly wanting right now. I do want to say a congratulations, though, because there was one positive thing that came from that whole experience. Well, there's actually a couple of positive things that came from it. I see you, Kia. No, the other positive thing is that my giveaway part of it went great. Vast drew a name for us. We got it. That was the name that we went with, and there's no hesitation. We just said, Della, here you go. My name is Della. There you go. That's the winner of the giveaway PC. Congratulations. And I was honored to be able to tell you myself that you won. Thank you for your patience, because that was probably pretty awkward to announce on Twitter, but you did so. Now, I do need to mention, of course, that this video is sponsored by CDKdeals.
CDKdeals is an online marketplace that specializes in discounted, genuine Microsoft licenses and game keys for several different platforms. My viewers can use code BRAE25 to get an additional 30% off, meaning you can get a copy of Windows 10 Pro for right around $15. Let's get a Windows key. We'll opt for Windows 10 Pro for the enhanced security features. CDKdeals offers an OEM license for a fraction of the price of a retail key. The difference with an OEM key is that you can only use it on one system, but that should be all you need. You will need to make sure you either have Windows 10 Pro already installed or you perform a fresh installation, since OEM keys cannot be used to upgrade from Windows 10 Home if that's what you have installed currently. Here I use code BRAE25. Pay with your method of choice, and once the payment goes through, click View Keys/Codes. Click Get the Key and copy it. Then just go to your Windows search, type in ACT, there it is. Click Activation Settings. My Windows install was already activated, so I'll be replacing that key, but yours should just say Activate Windows. Paste in the key, click Next, and activate, and you're done. Thank you, CDKdeals, for continuing to support the channel.
Now, before we get into the systems, which we're about to do very soon, let me get some quick disclaimers out of the way. All right, this video is being filmed for March 6th, 2022. So some of the pricing and availability that you see right here is going to change. That's the market. It has remained that way. Things run out of stock, things like that. So if you see something here that I mentioned and it's gone when you go to get it, then come to the stream. I'll help you out there. I stream every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. You hop in the queue, give me your budget and what you want to do with your PC, and I will help you find something live, one-on-one, and it is such a good time. Oh man, seriously, it is so hype, and it's just such a good vibe.
Congratulations, Trey 1993 on your PC from Alexander PCs. Let's go, nerds!
The next one is that I'm gonna throw some opinions around, and you might disagree with those. That's the thing when people talk, that's the thing that can happen. It's very unfortunate when it happens because it's terrible, because we can actually learn from each other. That's awful, I know. Anyway, feel free to share your opinions in the comments below or in the Discord, which is linked in the description below, which is an awesome, rad community of people who were just like talking about PCs all the time and like food and like, anime and all kinds of stuff. It's just super cool. So be sure to join up there so you can discuss away. And the last thing is, of course, you are buying at your own risk. There are some of these things where they're going to be packing up a delicate electronic and complicated electronic device and giving it to a shipping company. Well, something bad happens, you'll get it fixed. Every one of these companies has a warranty, will help you out, no problem. Without further ado, let's talk about the first one. And I got a little surprise for you on this one too. Now this one is Skytech Gaming. I've talked about Skytech a few times. How do they fit into the criteria that I had for this video? Not only having some good PC deals, but also having some good community stuff going on. Well, Skytech is actually really awesome on Twitch. Like they have some streams where they'll do build streams, they'll do giveaway streams.
Do you have to be, excuse me, a streamer to win this PC giveaway? No.
Gaming streams, all kinds of stuff. You gotta check out their Twitch channel, which I'll have right here, right there. And tell them Brea Thorn said hi. So what we're looking at here, I picked out a few because there are a lot of systems here. A lot of systems here. That's page one. Page one. It starts all the way as low as $749 for a Ryzen 5 3600 and a GTX 1650, which is, you do some 1080p gaming, and it's not maybe not the powerful GPU you've been imagining. Yeah, all the way up to $4899 with a 5950X and an RTX 3090. Pretty much every budget in the book is covered here. They even tell you ROG Crosshair 8 Hero Wi-Fi motherboard, 64 gigs of Trident Z, DDR4 3600, they tell you all the good stuff here. This one right here, it's got airflow, it's got a stock cooler. Yes, it's a Intel Core i5-10400F. With enough airflow though, their stock coolers could do a decent job of cooling. Does have dual channel memory, 16 gigs of DDR4, 3200 megahertz, and a GeForce GTX 1660 Ti. Now this is a couple generations back, we are in 12th gen now. And I'm hoping to see soon something like a 12400 on a B660M motherboard, or a 12100 for a real budget system, 1000 or under, whatever. But this right here is not really a starter. That 1660 Ti is still a banger, absolutely. It has Turing-based NVENC encoding. It is great for some 1080p gaming, and you could even take something like esports titles, things like that, at 1440p with this, with lower settings, but still a great gaming experience. And it also comes with a 1 terabyte SSD. It's a little unclear as to whether that's an M.2 SSD, but I don't think it is. But yes, it does have a 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply. That is plenty for the GTX 1660 Ti and 1040F combo. Now here, we're looking at the Azure. This one's $1549 rather than the $1199 from the previous PC. The Azure is in a special edition Skytech RGB InWin 103. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the InWin 103, but on this one you should be able to have side intake fans and one rear exhaust fan, and that should feed enough air for the AMD Ryzen 5 5600X and a B550 motherboard. Now, the photo shows an M-ATX motherboard, but that's not what's listed here, and I know that Skytech can sometimes use the same photos for similar systems. But you should have a full-on B558 full ATX motherboard, and of course 16 gigs of dual channel memory, and I will say 16 gigs of RAM is generally enough for most games, like plenty. Now there are some titles, like if you're really interested in playing Escape from Tarkov, plan on doing a RAM upgrade. It's one of the easiest upgrades you can do, and there are a bajillion videos on YouTube on how to upgrade your RAM. And now it does mention 3X RGB fans, so I'm certain that there are some on the right side here. We just can't see it, but you can see where the ventilation is right there, the opening to bring air in. Now we've got a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, it says specifically, so should be an M.2 drive, and you can see it in this picture right here, an XPG unit right there. Now, one of the biggest upgrades here is the GeForce RTX 3060 Ti, along with the 5600X. Now, of course, I do have a review video out for an iBuyPower system with the same pairing, 5600X and 3060 Ti. And I was getting frame rates like in Far Cry 6 at 1440p at high settings of over 100 frames per second. So whenever someone's like, oh, 3060 Ti, 1440, no, it's a 1080p card. No, it's not. It really isn't. But once you get past that point, if you're looking at something that's higher budget, there are some really good options here, of course, including if you want to go 12th gen and you want to go Skytech, you can go with this one here. This is the only 12th gen system Skytech has right now. I have actually spoken with them. They actually reached out to me, which was really cool. That's how I learned some of the stuff about their community and what they're doing and their presence on Twitch and how they utilize their platform to sort of support and give away things. And it's actually, like, I watch some of their streams, it's super cool. A lot of them there are actually small content creators and small streamers. They're at Skytech, and or bigger too. So it's really, really cool. The stuff that you want to do, they want to do as well. So this one is an actual DDR5 system. I believe they got their first allocation of 12th gen processors. There's a bunch of 12600Ks, and they built a great system around it where it's next gen stuff. So 32 gigs DDR5, 4800 megahertz on a Z690 motherboard, so it can fully utilize that K-SKU processor, 360 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler. Now this also has a GeForce RTX 3080. So a 12600K and a 3080 in a gaming PC. I mean, you're talking up to 4K gaming right there. You can also later on say you want to start doing some content creation, stuff like that. The 12600K actually, based on the Puget benchmarks of Adobe Premiere Pro, actually outperforms my 5900X in video editing in Premiere Pro. When it comes down to it, a 750 watt power supply is what was recommended by NVIDIA for the RTX 3080, way before 12th gen Intel came out. And then 12th gen Intel's, they're like, hey, cool, power, I'm gonna take it constantly, because I can turbo boost as much as I want. Cool, but not great when the 3080 might power spike. Swapping out a power supply is not too bad, and in this case right here, it should be okay. It's gonna be basically somewhat like doing it in an 011 dynamic. Now, they don't just put a 1 terabyte M.2 drive, it's a Gen 4 one. For gaming, that's not really gonna help you much, but for all your other tasks and everything like that, it's pretty nice. Actually downloading and then like installing the game will go faster, things like that. And you can of course add a bunch of storage to these. So what was the surprise that I had with these guys? Because, well, they did reach out, and I got really excited about the things that they're doing. And some of the things that they're doing, aside from the community stuff, is that, it is a 1-year warranty. There are longer warranties out there. But it is all, it's all here in America. It's built in America. Of course, a lot of the companies that I talk about are. And the reviews are quite good. And like right here, the best reviews are the ones where something bad happened and it got fixed. Original GPU card ran hot. Skytech sent me a replacement that was actually a better card than the original, and the PC runs amazing. Buy with confidence that they do make things right if there are problems. That's rad. I love that. Well, they also seem to like what I'm doing, which is cool. It's like we're fans of each other. It's really cool. So they wanted to work with me, and when I told them about my mission, well, let me tell you about my mission. I complained recently about some system integrators putting up a discount just for like 3 days, and then it's gone. That makes that piece of advice from that video completely irrelevant 3 days later. That sucks. For me, and for you. So my goal, let's call this operation, let's call it Code Braethorn. That's the name of this operation. My goal is so that you don't have to wait for a sale. You don't have to worry about whether something's gonna expire in a week because you can't buy just right now. You don't have to worry about like, oh, I'm gonna buy it right now and it's gonna go on way better sale later. I want there to be a discount code at every system integrator that we build some trust with. So you will have choices, not just 1 or 2, which is where I've been for a while. We no longer have that at Artesian. We still have Code Braethorn at the next guys we're gonna talk about. And now we have one with Skytech. So let's see how good that is. I don't know what Howdy 20 is, I don't know what site that's from, but Braethorn, there it goes, and bam, 90 bucks off. This $3,000 system just went down to $2,910. It's not a small amount of money. So if you're going to get a system, you can go through the links below, and there you go. Now, to be fair, and as you probably have already guessed, when you use this code, you don't only save money, you're also supporting the channel, because some of them will do that. They'll be like, hey, thank you for the referral. And you'll be like, hey, thank you for the 90 bucks back in my pocket. And I'll be like, hey, thank you for all of y'all being happy, because that makes me happy. So you guys know, growing the channel is costly. I mean, I've been buying gear. We're looking at potentially getting a studio space. expanding the content, traveling for content. These things are super expensive. And this system, Operation Code Braethorn, not the best name. I improvised. Give me a break. Is going to allow me to do all of that. If it gets to a certain point, I'll be able to do secret shopper stuff. This is the kind of thing where it's gonna go right back into the channel, and then of course, you get your discount. It's gonna allow for content like tutorials, upgrades, mods, how-to videos, things like that. A new series, 3 new series. Oh God, my 2022 is gonna be crazy. The more companies we add to this, the more choices that you'll have knowing that you are supporting the channel. Now we're gonna talk about the other guys where we got a Braethorn code. We're gonna talk about Alexander PC. Alexander PC, do I even need to tell y'all that they're wholesome? Like seriously, their new Discord community that they started a couple weeks back is thriving. They worked for months on their streaming platform. They want to support smaller streamers, and that is not a new concept to them. It just really starkly brought to my mind, like, no, this is the thing. This is what we want. There isn't a huge configurator on here because they've already maxed out most of the options for you. So this is the Centurion 12th Gen Intel, the white variant. So they don't have the black case right now. They have the white case, and God, the white Linley Landcool 215 is gorgeous. Starts out at 2088, minus 50 bucks. By the way, that's how it works at Alexander. You can upgrade it from the Arctic Freezer Esports Duo to the Linley Galahad AIO 240 Unifan version in white. To match this, you have 3 choices of 3060 Ti. The middle one and the last one are a 3-fan cooling solution on the card, and some larger cooling, higher frequencies, things like that, but they're all very powerful. And of course, you can go up to 32 gigs. So all of these systems come, you can read through this if you want to read more about it, like why they use a Gen 4 M.2 drive instead of a Gen 3, and the fact that they're using DDR4 3600, which is faster and it's going to be nice. It's white, it's RGB. Now it says it's your choice of a GeForce RTX 3060 Ti or 3070. The drop down for the 3070 isn't here, but they do have 3070s in stock. So we just can't see what the price is with the 3070 because there were so many different types of 3060 Ti's. I guess there was no room for the 3070 there. But you can always email them at admin@alexanderpcs.com and be like, hey, what's the Centurion cost with a 3070, 32 gigs of RAM, and the Galahad cooler, or whatever. By the way, I do want to say, really quick, well, it's belated now. I said it on the day, but a very happy birthday to TJ, who is the owner of Alexander PCs. Absolute quality dude. The person who invited me to PAX East, which by the way, PAX East coverage coming up because I'm going to be going to PAX East. That's how cool these guys are. When people you know are like, dude, these guys are awesome. Like, they answered me immediately. The guy just talked to me for a while about PCs. He was super cool. Like, you can't train people to be good people. You can train them at skills, you know? It's amazing, the team that he's put together over there. TJ, you're a real one, man. Happy birthday. You got an Asus TUF Gaming Z690 Plus Wi-Fi motherboard, which is feature-rich, and it's got Wi-Fi 6, 2.5 gig Ethernet, USB Type-C, and it's got great VRM cooling and everything, great VRM power delivery. Everything is quite good on those, and they guarantee you it will arrive fully assembled with Windows installed, activated, and updated, memory overclocked, so yes, XMP activated there, BIOS and drivers updated and optimized, ready to unbox, plug in, install your games, and play. There's some of y'all who have gotten PCs from other companies that are just perfectly fine companies, but then you got to install some drivers, or you got to update your like NVIDIA drivers or your BIOS or something like that, and maybe you're not really wanting to do that. They won't let you do that. This thing is not already built. It will be built when you order it, and these are slated to be shipped out, estimated ship date of March 28th, 2022. If you want anything like glass etching or a different case, just let them know. They will do it. Right here we got the Archon, which is very similar, but it is DDR5. That's why the price hike, because DDR5 is still more expensive than DDR4. You can go 12600K or 12700K here as well, and it starts with a 3070. So pick your 3070, or you can go up to a 3070 Ti. Now this by default comes in an H510 Flow. I am Proud of you, NZXT, for going with the flow there and actually coming out with an airflow case, airflow-centric case. And this one is great. If you love the NZXT aesthetic and you want to get that airflow, it's a fantastic choice. But this one right here actually comes with the NZXT Kraken Z63. So that's another add to the cost right there, because those are really expensive. This one comes with an 850 watt, 80 plus gold rated power supply to further accommodate up to the 3070 Ti, which is rated by NVIDIA for 750. You still get an extra 100 watts because they're thinking ahead. And 32 gigs of DDR5. For this case, you can choose black or white, and all the same stuff as the other one, where you can choose the color of your cables, all things like that. Now this one right here is the big beefy one. The Strategos is how I'm told that's pronounced. And it comes in one of my favorite cases of all time. The very case that Della is getting his PC in. That one's the white Lian Li Landcool 2 mesh. This is either white or black. You can choose. Whenever you order it, you let them know. It shows both. So I'm assuming they have both. Maybe they don't. I see this one though, and it looks like this is a gray. If they painted this thing in like a battleship gray, I am in love. That looks sick. But this one comes default with a 12700K, or you can go 12900K. This one has 32 gigs of RAM, and you get to choose the speed all the way up to DDR5 6000. Now, Jay's 2 cents, Jay just posted a video showing that if you were to take another kit of matching specs and try to add it to this 32 gigs, if it's like the higher speeds like this, you can have problems. Just keep in mind, you're probably going to be sticking to the 32 gigs for a while till that all gets figured out. Of course, this does have the 3080. There it is. Now, the thing is, they only have right now the 3080s with the 12 gigs of VRAM. This is a cheaper system with the 10 gigs of VRAM, but those are sold out right now. When they got their allocation, it was all 12 gig. First off, this thing comes with the ROG Hyper M.2, which is sick for when you need extra storage space, you want to use some M.2 drives, you put them on right there. Of course, there's plenty of spaces for it on the actual motherboard right there, and of course, you have a ton of I/O. That is 10 USB Type A ports, 2 USB Type C, 2.5 gig Ethernet, Wi-Fi 6E. It's got a clear CMOS button and a BIOS flashback button, and it's just stellar. Like, there's so much about this motherboard that just makes me happy. Alexander PCs has a lifetime warranty, and I've talked to TJ about this. His intention, and it states it on the warranty screen, lifetime warranty on parts and service. You read that correctly, lifetime. All desktop PCs from Alexander PCs come with an industry-best lifetime limited warranty and service guarantee. Your processor failed after you had your system for 8 years, you're covered. Hard drive crashed after 7 years, you're covered. Of course, the legalese is here. If you take a bat to your PC, you're not covered. But I did ask him a question about shipping, because you would still need to ship it back to them. So, first 30 days, if there's an RMA issue in the first 30 days, they're like, damn, our bad. They pay for it there and to them and back to you, okay? First year, they cover half the shipping. You ship it to them, they will pay for it back to you for RMA. After that, you cover the shipping, but it's lifetime parts and service. There you go. Let's talk about the next company. Now, this company, they have a pretty amazing Twitter community, and they're following there. It's really good. They stream together, like the members, the employees will stream together, have group streams. It's great vibes. They'll do giveaways. It's super cool. And I am talking about PowerGPU. Now, PowerGPU, I've been talking to Jesse for a little while, and we do have plans to chat and do more stuff, and we haven't done it yet, where we want to sort of collaborate a little bit, maybe interview type stuff. That's coming. However, I am a fan of the way that he interacts with his community, the way that he interacts with his Twitter following, their Twitter following. The community is very supportive of each other. They also, every week, will post ready-to-ship systems every Friday. Every Friday. Now, both of the other companies I mentioned, I've had a discount code for you. I don't have one for them yet, but they're on my radar. They're in my targets. This one is the raw. This one is more of a budget system. It's $1,050. Okay, it's a 10100 and a 1650 SC Ultra Gaming GPU. So this is a budget PC right here. Dual channel memory, okay, G-Skill Ripjaws 5, Asus Prime B460 Plus, So if we look here, we have 3 systems that look pretty identical. So let's take a look at them. $1499 down from $1549. And these are in the Fantex Eclipse P360A, one of my favorite budget cases out there. It's a great choice and it does not look like a budget case at all. This is a Core i5-10400, still a great budget gaming CPU, same Prime B460 Plus, full ATX. And this has dual channel 32 gigs of DDR4 3600. So basically they're taking a gaming processor, the 10400, and putting it in a great environment for it to flourish. And then adding in a GeForce RTX 3060 XC gaming, so full 3060. So you have a Kingston NV1 500 gig M.2 drive. So that right there is for your operating system, couple important programs and stuff. And then you have a 2 terabyte SATA hard drive for mass storage. Let's look at these other systems and see if they are identical or if they differ in some way. So there are 3 systems that are the same. There you go. These do sell like hotcakes. The build quality with PowerGPU is supposed to be legendary. Like every person who posts their system on Twitter, like, hey, PowerGPU, good looking out, thank you very much. It's beautiful. So there are a few budget systems here that are just a fantastic option. And then there's one that's not budget. That's right. There is the Nightmare. This thing takes all the sensibilities of the previous systems and then just crumples them up and eats them for a light breakfast. This is the Nightmare. It is in a Lian Li O11 Dynamic XL, 360mm Kraken Z73, expensive cooler right there. A Ryzen 9 5950X, Zeus ROG X570, Crosshair 8 Dark Hero. That is a very high-end motherboard for X570. You got 64 gigs of DDR4 3200 C16. You have a 2 terabyte Gen 3 M.2 drive. Remember, for gaming, Gen 4 doesn't do much for you. You actually have Corsair QL fans. Those are really high-quality fans. And then, of course, you have the upright display card kit so that this is actually, now generally, if you're gonna have your card upright in an O11 XL, or in any case, you wanna have like 2 or 3 inches from the glass to make sure that you have adequate cooling. That looks like just about exactly what we have here. So this should cool just fine, plus there's plenty of air being pushed up by those bottom intake fans right there. And let's not gloss over what card that is. That's a 3090. 3090s, there's some of them that are going for $2,500, almost $3,000 right now. Everything in this build is just over the top. And you gotta respect that. There you have it. It's a great example of a system that is at the very high end. I mean, we're talking about the ultimate expression of Zen 3 right here. Now, I don't want to gloss over the fact, and I did cover this before, but they do now have a custom builder, and it's quite robust. There are several series of computers you can choose here that will sort of determine the parts options that you're going to get, and you can choose between Intel builds or AMD builds. Now, for this one, I went with the P2000 series. The goal was to make a system for around $2,000 for the 12600K and a 3060 Ti. I love that pairing, and it can do pretty much anything you need. I like the Fantex Eclipse P400A. I don't know that this is the digital one, because it'll usually say digital, but it does show the photo of the exact case that is the digital. The reason I bring that up is because that one comes with 3 RGB fans in the front if you get the digital version. This is going for a more gaming-centric system though. So I went with the Asus Prime Z690P. It's got just fine power delivery for a 12600K. It has plenty of USB for someone who's just gaming, so your mouse, keyboard, things like that, headset, all that. RAM, we went with the 16 gigs. Now, if you know you're gonna play something like Escape from Tarkov or you're gonna get into streaming, just get 32 gigs. Cooler is gonna be the Deepcool Castle 240EX, and going to the principal storage, it's gonna be a 1 terabyte Gen 3 M.2 drive from Mushkin. Now, I did move from the 3060 to the 3060 Ti. Now, it says placeholder here. It means that it's basically, hey, you are getting in queue to get this. It's pretty standard among certain system integrators to have a queue for GPUs. And the cool thing is, you can actually join the Discord to get updates. Power supply is a 750 80 plus bronze power supply, semi-modular. It is $55 to go up to a 750 G5 80 plus gold. That's not a bad move to make. And we're actually under budget, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You can add sleeve cables for the appearances if you want. When you select it, you get to choose the color. Now for Windows, I love this because A, who is the sponsor of this video again? You remind me? That's CDKdeals, and you can get a 30% discount using code BRAY25. to go down to the description, use the links there to find the version that works for you in Windows, and you're off to the races. What they'll do, they will install and test Windows with no activation. They won't activate it for you, so they don't charge you the full price for getting Windows, $99 off. And then just your assembly, you can choose different warranty coverage options. You can go for the extended 2-year warranty, the 2-year one, or extended warranty 3-year. And you basically pay equivalent amounts of money for that. You could even get yourself a crate to get this thing shipped to you for 150 bucks. That's the same, you know, it's like what Origin does, that kind of thing. But yes, there is your build, $1945.89, every option customized to the nines. And then you just follow on Discord and they'll let you know when your turn's coming up. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Now, there is some really huge stuff coming up, and you should come by the stream tonight. Again, it's Sunday when this video comes out. I stream every Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday at around 8 p.m. Central at twitch.tv/Breathorn. When I tell you it's a good time, I'm not here to lie to you. I gain nothing from that. You should come check it out. And yeah, of course, I will see y'all then. And until then, take care.